Welcome to Constructivism. Constructivism is learning with a student-centered approach and is not something that is imposed on the learner. Constructivism is the idea that we encounter something new, we build upon previous knowledge and experience to understand it. We are creators of our own knowledge and need to inquire, explore, assess, and reflect on what we know. Piaget believed that humans learn through the construction of one logical structure after another. He also concluded that the logic of children and their modes of thinking are initially entirely different from those of adults. The implications of this theory and how he applied them have shaped the foundation of constructivist education. Vygotsky introduced the social aspect of learning into constructivism. He defined the zone of proximal learning, according to which students solve problems beyond their actual development level, but within their level of potential development. Under adult guidance, in collaboration with more capable peers. Papert pioneered in his field with groundbreaking work in using computers to teach children, which led to the widespread use of computer and information technology in constructivist environments. The limitations of constructivism include the fact that it's elitist, which means this theory may only work well for privileged children from backgrounds of rich home environments, where their parents and teachers are very supportive. Therefore, children that are at a disadvantage need more explicit instruction. In addition to this, social constructivism can lead to each student ending up with the same idea, which in some ways may be beneficial, but not when as a teacher you're wanting a student to come up with their own conscious idea, their own idea. The benefits of constructivism include children enjoy learning more when they are actively immersed in their learning. Education is most effective when we concentrate on deep learning, thinking and understanding and comprehending, rather than memorization or service learning. Constructivist learning creates transferable skills and internal models that students can take and use in different situations. Constructivism provides students with ownership of what they are learning. Because the learning process is centered around students' inquiries and investigations, this would mean that the students can be very much involved in designing their assessments too. These assessments engage the students in inventiveness and personal investments in their journals, self-reports, models, and artistic creations. Engaging the students' creative instincts develops their ability to express knowledge through a variation of ways. The students are more likely to retain and transfer the new knowledge to real-life experiences. Constructivist classrooms create constant critical thinking. Students learn to question things and become curious. Constructivism promotes a social environment and allows students to improve their communication skills. They must learn to evaluate their contributions in a socially accepted manner and be able to collaborate with other students. Not only is this a vital tool for success in the real world, it also allows us as teachers to be confident that all of our students are on some kind of level playing field in terms of individual understanding. So how do we apply this in the classroom? As teachers in a constructivist classroom, we must guide students on their own journey of discovery, and we must offer the right tools to facilitate our students. When designing class activities, we need to utilise the following keywords. I'll explain each word and provide some examples of how I would run a classroom activity. Constructed. As we know from the works of Piaget, students are not empty vessels in which we fill with knowledge. They come to a situation with previous ideas and understandings. This old knowledge is the raw material for the new knowledge they are about to create. In a primary school classroom setting, for example, I would present the problem to measure their own heights. Rather than starting the exploration by introducing them to a ruler, I would allow them as students to reflect and to construct their own methods of measurement. One student may suggest that their mum says that they're 4 feet tall. Another may say he's the same height as 6 basketballs laid out on the floor next to him. Now there is a student discussion and they decide on one method to solve the problem. Active. Learning activities require the students' full participation, such as hand-on experiments. In this example, I may have a secondary school English class setting where I require each student to pair up and act out a piece of made-up dialogue between 2 characters in a book they are exploring. This would allow them to truly engage in who these characters are and further deepen their understanding of the situations in the book. Reflective. This process makes the students experts in their own learning. This teacher facilitates the student by creating situations where they need to question and reflect on their own learning, either in private or in groups. I would facilitate this process by getting the students to complete a journal at the end of each class where they record how they feel about class projects, how they feel their abilities are changing, such as handwriting, or how they're working in groups. And then periodically I would meet with the student and assess with them to get a better understanding of where they're at. Collaboration. This is when students learn about learning, not only from themselves, but also from their peers. When they review each other's work, they can pick up strategies and methods from one another, and you can assure as a teacher that your students all possess relatively the same level of understanding. This is also where Vygotsky's zone of proximal learning comes into effect, where we can see the students in the zone of what they know, and once they have collaborated, they can advance to the zone where they could be. Collaboration is fantastic to use with IT as well, and as there are many forms of technology that make it easy for students to share information with each other. Inquiry-based. The main activity in a constructive-based classroom is problem solving. Students use inquiry methods to be critical, ask questions, investigate topics, and to do this, they use a range of resources to find solutions and answers to these problems. A perfect example of inquiry-based learning is the use of ICT and the ability of each student to find out any kind of information at the click of a button. Because of this, my ideal classroom would be full of appropriate technology that would facilitate each student flight of discovery. Evolving. All this new information can do one of three things. It can be consonant with previous knowledge, which means it matches previous knowledge. The student will add these findings to his or her understanding. Then the information may be dissonant, which means the student has to change their previous knowledge to find a fit for this new information. Or there's the new stimuli that the student just simply rejects because it doesn't match previous knowledge. This is how the process of constant construction works in the student's brain. To wrap up constructivism, I would say it promotes a wholesome classroom environment, where as teachers we must give our students the right scaffolding, give them access to a wide range of resources, divide them up into suitable groups for discussion that we feel will extend their zone of proximal learning, and provide a safe learning environment where they feel comfortable expressing their ideas. So I feel that creativity is really important for learning.